I would like to introduce my friend, Francis Ghesquiere, who was one of the founders also of Understanding Risk, to present the Averted Disaster Award. And the whole team.
Actually, I'm not going to do this alone. Good morning, everybody. Olivia Jensen, who's part of the selection committee, and David Lallemant, who actually came up with the original idea, are going to help me present the ADA and unveil the winner for the 2024 Averted Disaster Award. So over to you, Olivia.
Thank you so much, Francis. I'm Olivia Jensen, Deputy Director of the Institute for the Public Understanding of Risk at the National University of Singapore, and I am lucky enough to be on the judging panel for this fantastic award. 1 in 100-year drought has no impact on capital's water supply. Dam height raised after climate change study reveals that storms will become more severe and frequent. These are the headlines that we never hear, that we never see. The Averted Disasters Award was launched in 2022 by GFDRR precisely to spotlight these achievements, to bring our attention to the things that are generally forgotten. Investments in robustness, in redundancy, in the deeply unglamorous business of maintenance and operating systems. Interventions that use advancements in data acquisition and analysis in order to take decisions which finally benefit people. Things about raising the height of a flood wall, or getting weather forecasts to the people who need them in order to take decisions in advance about which crops to plant and when to harvest. This work clearly deserves to be celebrated, but it's hard to make a story out of it. What we'd really like to do is say 100, 1,000, 10,000 people, lives were saved, or 10,000 people were free from hunger as a result of one of these interventions or investments. But what's the evidence for making a claim of that kind? How can we be confident? How can we demonstrate that to people and use that as a way to convince others to replicate, use, and be inspired by some of these examples? I'm going to hand over to David Lallemant, who's going to explain how counterfactual analysis can help us to do exactly that.
Thank you, Olivia. So in the past few days, one of the recurring message has been the power and importance of imagination. We've heard presentations on imagining the climate future and envisioning cities where nature and people are better integrated. We've seen how communities in the wake of the 1995 Great Hanshin earthquake imagined their recovery. Imagination is so crucial to our work. And one of the main tools underpinning the Averted Disaster Award is also imagination. To illuminate the power of risk reduction, we asked nominees to imagine what might have been without their efforts. This is done through counterfactual analysis, which quantifies these outcomes, estimating the number of lives saved, injuries avoided, livelihoods maintained, and cultural heritage preserved, and more. So, however, one of the main challenges we've encountered in the award process is ensuring that organizations have the necessary resources and capabilities to conduct such counterfactual analysis. So this prompted us to consider how we could add value to the award, assist applicants, and raise awareness about this essential analytical method. So to address this, we introduced this new benefit this year. So all the top 5 finalists received technical assistance to conduct counterfactual analysis and on their interventions. So this was led by Professor Susanna Jenkins at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, one of my friends and colleagues. And all the reports that were developed are available on the website for everyone to have access. So we hope that this initiative benefits not only the top 5 applicants through the insights gained from the analysis, and serves as a valuable example for other organizations demonstrating how they can implement counterfactual analysis in their projects. To give just a bit more detail on the process, so this involved working alongside the applicants to identify hazardous events in recent history that best highlight how the intervention had averted disaster. The spatial extent and intensity of this hazard event, along with the exposure and vulnerability present at the time, were then reconstructed using freely available data and data provided by the applicants. From this, the likely impacts of the event, had the intervention not existed, were calculated to provide a counterfactual analysis, comparing what might have been counterfactual impacts with impacts that were actually realized provides a tangible view of otherwise invisible successes. So I think it's important for all of us to remember that our jobs, pretty much the jobs of everyone here in this room, is to ensure that every day in the life of communities is undramatic. That people can work, spend time with loved ones, enjoy life in very ordinary, often boring ways. And that they can do so even when it storms, rains, or the ground shakes. Essentially, our work is an ode to the ordinary. And when the alternative, though, is catastrophe, then the ordinary becomes extraordinary. This is the essence of counterfactual analysis for the Averted Disaster Award. We show the alternative to highlight the extraordinary in risk reduction work. This is what makes this award so unique and important.
Can we go back one? Okay. Yeah, so the ADA, the Averted Disaster Award, is an experiment, right? And it still is an experiment. It's a very small initiative. Most of the work is done by volunteers. We receive a little bit of support from the Global Facility for Disaster Reduction. But we want to make it big. And we're very conscious that we're still learning. And we would like to, we're actually going through kind of a full assessment of the initiative. We would like to hear from you about this idea and how can we make it big. Should we focus on one kind of media, documentary, or should we expand to photo exhibition, cartoons, sculpture, other type of media? How do we attract more expression of interest, more people who come up with good ideas, with small initiative that can be replicated, or big one that counterfactual analysis shows have had a huge impact. Should we work more with small initiative, or should we turn around and actually work with media company, with filmmaker, with advertising companies? After all, they're the one who pride themselves on making the invisible visible, or at least making us believe. At the end of the day, this initiative aims at influence the general public and policymaker and showcase all the work that you all are doing. We're convinced that the ADA should be something big that gives credit to this community. So you'll have seen Williams wandering around asking questions to people. If you have ideas, come and see us, email us. If you would like to partner with us, please let us know. Okay, and without further ado, let's move to the award of the 2024 winner of the ADA Averted Disaster Award.
Thank you, Francis. So received applicants from all over the world that encompass a wide range of interventions, from early warning systems to agroforestry to large-scale government intervention programs. We're thrilled to be able to share with you today the top applicants being recognized and announce the Averted Disaster Award winner. So before announcing the winner, we would like to give special recognition to all the organizations that were selected to receive independent counterfactual analysis as part of the top 5 finalists.
You can see by our smiles how much joy it brings us to be awarding this. So, okay, it's my great pleasure to announce the first in our list of top 5s. the World Bank Group Caribbean Management Unit for their project Improving Climate Data and Information Management in Jamaica. This project improved the collection and use of weather information in Jamaica by installing weather stations and providing training to those who collect and use the information. This made it easier to predict natural disasters and help people to be better prepared. The project represents a crucial investment in the safety of Jamaica. Specifically, fatal and damaging flood incidents have declined as a direct result of the project's initiatives.
Thank you, Olivia. Next, we recognize the Taiwan Raihanli Center for World Citizens for their Syrian Refugee Community Center, which turned into Humanitarian Relief Center in response to the 2023 Turkey-Syria earthquake. So originally established in 2020 as a Refugee Community Center for Syrian refugees, the center was repurposed to serve as a humanitarian relief center for both Syrian refugees and Turkish locals. In February 2023, the region experienced, as many of you know, a very severe earthquake, 2 earthquakes, in fact. The Taiwan Raihanli Center provided overnight shelter to 2,000 people, and during the day provided electricity, food, and healthcare to assist 6,000 more displaced persons. Their effort provided emergency relief to 8,000 people in total who otherwise would have had no support.
Next, let's go over to South Asia and recognize the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation for their establishment of the first ever city-specific disaster response force in the region. The Disaster Response Force was established in 2018 with a vision to respond to disasters with a sense of urgency and in a planned way, and to minimize human, property, and environmental loss by developing a holistic, proactive, multi-disaster, and technology-driven strategy. DRF teams are equipped with customized vehicles, precision machinery, and workforce trained to tackle all kinds of disasters. In October 2020, they came into their own. There were extensive floods to which the DRF was able to provide early warning to an estimated 524,000 people in the flooded area, as well as successfully evacuating 37,000 people. They were also able to drain water from key infrastructure, such as electricity substations and hospitals. And the counterfactual analysis estimates that early warnings and evacuations could have saved anywhere from 580 up to 9,300 lives.
Thank you. Next, we wanted to recognize the Lamu County in Kenya for their establishment of an emergency operations center. In 2020, an emergency operations center building was completed in Lamu County, housing multi-agency operations for planning, response, and recovery. The center deals with at least 15 different types of terrestrial and marine hazards and has averted at least 5 major disasters since its creation. In November 2023, Lamu County experienced severe floods. The Emergency Operations Center successfully evacuated nearly 5,000 at-risk families. They provided shelter, food, water, and healthcare to evacuate, as well as moved an estimated 20,000 livestock to higher ground. No human or animals' lives were lost in the flood. Our counterfactual analysis shows that in this event alone, they potentially saved 110 lives for this event.
And the fifth of our top applicants, another fantastic initiative from Africa. The Southern African Anticipatory Action Working Group, involving the United Nations World Food Programme Southern Africa, the Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies for their large-scale anticipatory action activations for the El Niño drought across Southern Africa. In 2019, these organizations, the World Food Programme, FAO, IFRC, founded the Regional Anticipatory Action Working Group to enhance regional anticipatory action for climate shocks in Southern Africa. Anticipatory action, which you've heard a bit about over the course of the last few days, aims to mitigate the humanitarian impacts of forecasted hazards by acting before the event's acute effects. When a drought trigger is forecast, the working group collaborates with local governments and stakeholders to implement measures like early warnings, cash transfers, drought-resistant seeds, agricultural training, and water resource improvements. And these interventions help prevent food insecurity and malnutrition among vulnerable populations. Ahead of the 2023-24 forecast, WFP provided anticipatory assistance to over 230,000 people and early warning messages to over 1.2 million. And now, over to Francis for the big moment.
Okay, and I think that our friend at the CD have, and the winner is Lamu County in southern Kenya. Lamu County was recognized because it is a locally led initiative that is replicable in Kenya and probably around the world, and it's proven itself in multiple occasions already. Now, I know that Director Shi Kami is in the audience. He's the Secretary of the Disaster Risk Management Committee of Lamu County. Director Kami, if you're there, please join us on the stage to receive the 2022 award. Congratulations.
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 And here's the award. Joseph, your word.
Wow. I'm a loss with the words, and I'm so excited. And I think this is a very special moment for Lamu County government. Wow. Yes. First of all, I want to say Alhamdulillah. I want to thank the Almighty God for all of what is happening here. And of course, in Kenya, in a special way. I want to thank ADA. Indeed, you are spotlighting those people who have no mandate, sometimes no ability or no capacity to spotlight themselves, because we are the marginalized areas, we are the underfunded regions, and I think ADA is doing the right thing to take us from the local stage to the international stage like this being the first time for Lamu County government to appear before your wonderful audience in this very global stage. Thank you so much. And this is a calling, this is a motivation for all other marginalized areas, that let them do whatever they're doing. They should not worry about publicity, because ADA will be there for them. I want to thank His Excellency the Governor, who has been giving strategic leadership role in this very moment. And in fact, I remember in 2016, he did not sit in the office when we were at the disastrous event at the maritime sector. In fact, he became the first responder in one of our worst maritime incidents that happened. And it is him that made me to be here today, because of his leadership qualities, because of his strategic directions that made all of us to be here today. Thank you, Governor Abdallah Timami. Lastly, I want to appreciate two very important organizations. One is WWF Kenya, that is the Worldwide Fund for Nature in Kenya, that supported the establishment of this emergency operations center that is now doing wonders in as far as disaster risk management framework is concerned. Another organization is the USAID KUZA that has been supporting our disaster risk management policies, Disaster Risk Management Act, the SOP, the standard operating procedures to run the EOC that is here with you today, showing the world that yes, we can do it irrespective of where we come from. I want to thank the partners that we have been working together, because in Lamu County, our EOC is working under the multi-agency of course, with our strategic leadership, but we work with various multi-agency, the Kenya Red Cross, the Kenya Coast Guard, the Kenya Defense Force, Manda Base, Operation Amani Boni, CIMIC team, the World Vision, among other organizations. We are still going to work with you because we know together we can make it big to the world and no longer at the local level. I want to conclude, and before I do that, I also want to thank the community in Lamu County and Kenya at large for abiding by our directives and orders that will make them stay safe, for accepting to be resilient, for having trust in us, in whatever we do, in whatever we tell them. In as far as our early warning systems package communication is concerned, they are there to say, yes, we will do it. And that is why they are alive, and that is why we're here today to celebrate. Finally, back to you, Ada. You have an incredible team. I'll start with Kari Levine, Fernandez Sanchez, Professor Susanna from Singapore, David Lallemant, thank you for your aspiration in the LinkedIn, Francis, Jimmy, Adan, Mika, and so many other team who have been doing great work in as far as other fraternity is concerned. And I want to conclude, because I know we have run out of time, I want to conclude by saying that this award is dedicated to all the marginalized community, all the marginalized regions in this world. And I want to tell them that no matter what they do, where they are, whether they have resources or whether they don't have, these things doesn't need resources. It just needs brain. And brain are given for free by the Almighty God. So we have done it without money, without big resources, because we have the strategy and we have the will and the zeal to do it in order to save the lives of not only Lamu people, but the world at large. And I want to assure you, Ada, that we are not going to take this for granted. We're going to build on it. We're going to do better and greater job in as far as our Lamu County, Kenya, Africa is concerned. This is dedicated to all the marginalized, led by the Lamu East constituency, which is administered by Captain Rueda, is our the women member of parliament, led by the Kiunga village along the Kenya-Somalia border. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Very good. This concludes the award ceremony for 2024. And as I said, we are reassessing the way we do the ADA. We're open to all your advice and your ideas. So please come to us if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you.